Hello everyone. Today is a trigger video. Now, I've noticed that some of you aren't very inventive when it comes to insulting others. After my controversial video, quite a number of people thought it would be clever and well received to insult me in the most unoriginal ways. I thus decided to give you guys a few other words so that next time you decide to lash out at someone online hidden behind your computer, you'll look a tad more clever. I know, I'm quite nice. Yes, so I selected for you a few insults from the 18th and the 17th century. I hope this will not only educate you, but also enable you to be more eloquent, vivid, and inventive next time you decide to insult someone. And if some of you are interested in learning more slurs from that time, feel free to check out a classic dictionary of the vulgar tongue, which was written by lexicographer Francis Grose in 1785. The first word I'll teach you is the word tatterdemalion. You would call a tatterdemalion someone dressed in old clothes, a ragged fellow if you prefer, whose clothes hang all in tatters. And as a side note, tatter, which dates from the 17th century, comes perhaps from the word tartar, which would explain why it has the contemporary sense of vagabond or gypsy. So next time you see someone who's dressed in a shabby way, don't hesitate to call them a tatterdemalion. Tatterdemalion, 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 tatterdemalion. You're such a tatterdemalion. Go buy some clothes. You're such a tatterdemalion. Tatterdemalion, 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 tatterdemalion. The second word is bespola. To bespol means to spit or dribble. So basically, a bespola is someone who spits when they talk. A slobbering person, if you prefer. And we all know someone, most commonly a professor, who tends to spit quite a bit when they speak. So now you know that there are bespollers. Bespoller, 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 bespoller. You're a bespoller. Bespoller. Stop spitting when you speak. You're such a bespoller. Bespoller, 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 bespoller. Okay, now the third word is the word shabbaroon. Yes, shabbaroon. A shabbaroon is basically a tatterdemalion. Shabby, the word shabby, I'm sure you know what shabby means, comes from the 1600s, and the word comes from scab in reference to a disease of sheep, which comes from Old English scab. So a shabbaroon, or shabbaroon, yes, is an ill-dressed, shabby fellow, someone of mean appearance, no longer new or fresh. That's the literal sense, of course, and figuratively, shabbaroon is used to describe someone that is contemptibly mean, a mean-spirited person in other words. So shabbaroon, 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 shabbaroon. You're such a shabbaroon, 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 shabbaroon. Now, the fourth word is quite funny. It is fustilarian. Fustilarian. That's a funny word indeed, and it was used to designate a woman of gross or corpulent habit. The word fustilarian is derived from fusty. And now, for those who don't know what fusty means, it comes from the 14th century, and it is derived from the Old French fuster, which meant tasting of the cask. In Old French, fust meant wine cask, from Latin fustis, which meant stick of wood. You can actually look up the meaning of the word fustigate, because that's also where it comes from, which is why fustigate means to beat someone with a short, heavy stick. Anyway, fustilarian was a 17th slang for a woman of gross habit, most generally a big-boned person, and fusty has to be understood in the sense of something that has gone off or gone stale. Okay. Fustilarian, 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 fustilarian. Yes, they did quite a lot of fat shaming then as well. Fustilarian, fustilarian, fustilarian. You're fustilarian. Fustilarian, 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 fustilarian. Okay. The fifth word is rather simple. Beard splitter. Beard splitter. A beard splitter is a man much given to wenching or consorting with prostitutes. So yeah. Beard splitter. 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 Okay. The sixth word is bedswerver. Bedswerver. And this is a Shakespearean invention. We love these. And it means an adulterer. So if someone is a cheater, you can call them a bedswerver. It is actually composed of two words, I'm sure you can guess, bed and swerve, sorry. Swerve is actually quite an old word since it comes from Old English, swervan, and it meant to rub, scowl, file away, grind away. In the 12th century, it meant to depart, to turn away. 1 century later, during the 13th century, it meant its meaning had shifted a little bit because it meant to turn aside or deviate from a straight course. So basically, a bedswerver is someone who turns away from his marital bed. So, bedswerver, 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 bedswerver. Why do you have to be a bedswerver? Bedswerver. the sacred length of marriage. Betswerver, 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 Betswerver. Okay, we'll continue with another Shakespearean word. This is the word fustilarian. 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 It was coined in Henry IV, Part 2, when Falstaff yells, "Away, you scullion, you Rumpelian, you fustilarian! I'll tickle your catastrophe." This is not a, well, yes, it is actually kind of a variation of fustilugs, which I told you before, but it also has an extra meaning. It has the sense of someone who wastes time on worthless things in a stubborn way. So a fustilarian is a low fellow, a stinkard, a scoundrel. Fustilarian, 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 fustilarian. Okay, next word is stymphalist. Stymphalist. It comes from Greek mythology, and if you're familiar with the story of Hercules, you'll know that in one of his 12 labors, he has to destroy the Stymphalian birds, which are basically man-eating birds with metal feathers and metal beaks. And according to the legend, they produce a stinking and toxic guano. So a stymphalist is someone who stinks, someone who smells as bad as the excrement of mythological man-eating birds. So if you know someone who stinks, you can call them a stymphalist. Stymphalist, 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 stymphalist. Take a shower, you stymphalist. Stymphalist, 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 stymphalist. Okay. The next word is the word abydocomist. I'm actually not sure how to pronounce that, but I'm gonna assume it's abydocomist or abydocomist. Abydocomist. So basically, Abydos is a planet in Stargate. No, but it is also one of the oldest cities of ancient Egypt, and according to a 19th century dictionary, the inhabitants of Abydos were famous for inventing slanders and boasting of them. Therefore, an abydocomist is a liar who brags about their lies. The worst kind. So, abydocomist, 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 abydocomist. Stop lying, you abydocomist. Abydocomist, 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 abydocomist. Okay, and now it's time for our last word already. 10 words. So this word is the word zoilist. 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 Yes, it does sound like Zoila, the child of Meredith Grey, but no, it has nothing to do with it. Zoilus was a Greek grammarian and literary critic from Amphipolis in Macedonia, which was known as Thrace at the time. He became one of the most vitriolic critics of Homer. Therefore, a zoilist is an overly critical and judgmental nitpicker. To the people who insulted me so much, this was actually a good opportunity to call me a zoilist, even though it doesn't really carry the meaning of being condescending, but oh well, next time maybe. So, zoilist, 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 zoilist. Okay, I hope you guys appreciated these obsolete insults and that you will go to sleep more cultured and armed with new ways of insulting your peers. Good night.